to our channel. We are slowing down in Florida for the holiday at Alicia's mom's house, and so we decided that it was about time to give you a van tour.
Yeah, we've been living and traveling in our van for about 100 days, and I believe it's about our 6-month anniversary of launching this channel, and we're realizing what kind of van people are we without giving you a tour. So we're gonna do that today. If this is your first time here, I'm Alicia.
And I'm Rachel.
And we live and travel in the back of our self-converted Sprinter van as we figure out what it means to go slow down. Hello YouTube world, and let me officially introduce you to Alice the Wonder Van. Alice is a 2018 Ram Promaster 2500 high roof non-extended. Whew, that was quite a mouthful. I bought her used off of Vroom, and they delivered it right to one of my schools where I was working on her. She was an electrician's van in her former life. And so when we got her, we had to remove all of the electrician's shelving so that we could start our build. So I have zero, when I say 0, no build experience. The most woodwork I've ever done was in middle school shop class for like a 6-week class. And so I taught myself how to do all of this on YouTube and doing extensive research. The build took us about 2 years because I was also working full time. Rachel helped when I needed a second hand, like when I had to cut a hole in the roof. But I'm kind of a individual worker sometimes. And so I did a lot of it on my own after work. Sometimes I would just sit there staring for like an hour trying to figure out a problem. And that's pretty boring. So yeah, I'm really proud of it. It's not a professional build, but I think I did a pretty good job. And every once in a while I just sit and I stare and I'm like, oh my goodness, I built this. So I hope you like it. There's gonna be critics, but that's okay. It was a lot of fun to build, and we are living life out here. It might not be perfect for you, but it's perfect for us, and we hope you enjoy the tour.
There's not much to see up front in the cab, but we did install this swivel seat so we can have another view of the van. So it's just another seating option. We also have some privacy curtains so that way at night we can be very stealthy. And then up top we have more storage for our linens. We also store, I think, our toilet paper up there and some sweatshirts. So that's pretty much the front cab.
Welcome to our gourmet kitchen. We do a lot of cooking in the van, so having a full kitchen with lots of storage was really important to us. You're gonna notice that throughout the van is I really prioritize storage in my design. So it's not as open as some van designs you might find, but we really wanted to make sure that we had space and a home for everything so things could stay organized. So we opted for a propane stove because I just didn't really want to have to worry about energy and electricity all the time for something as basic as cooking. I have a small 5-pound propane canister underneath, and we haven't really had any issues filling it. So we only have to fill it maybe once every month to 6 weeks. And almost every time we've gone to get it refilled, they haven't charged us because it takes such a little amount of propane to fill it that they're just like, I don't even know how to charge you for that little amount. So works out for us. But it has 2 burners. It has an oven, which is really nice. Because we have done some baking. We do our bacon in there. We use the oven quite a bit. And I put this little pop-up countertop, which is actually just a cutting board I found at Aldi that I installed with some brackets here. So that's really helpful when we're cooking to just give us a little bit of extra space. On this wall over here, we have a little spice rack with some of our most common spices that we use. Some of them are actually inside right now. And our paper towels. We have our carbon monoxide alarm and our natural gas monitor. We always make sure we have the fan going and usually a door open when we're cooking with the propane just for safety. Over here in front, we have our fruit basket, which I love. We usually have it filled. Right now we're staying at my mom's, so we don't have as much in there. And then up here, I built a shelf with some grab and go, so we could just grab with some rice. I actually built it around the size of these containers because I already knew that I was gonna put those in there. Really, really clutch is this vacuum. We love it. We can link a lot of this stuff down in the description, but yeah, this vacuum's been super helpful. It's super tiny and it mounts right there. It has a little attachment that you can put with it, but it's been a lifesaver because we're always sweeping in here because it gets so dirty, and we can just swoop it right up. So that's been really great. underneath the stove, we have these two cabinet doors, and so we're able to store a gallon of water and then all of our pots and pans. Up here we have all of our like foils and stuff and our grilling tools in a container, and we can access that actually from the outside as well. So we want to grab the stuff if we're gonna like be cooking over a campfire or a grill, we can actually grab it from the back without even having come in here, which is pretty cool. And lastly up here, which is like, I think like a van luxury, we have this full size mirror if you open this door, and so you can get a whole view of yourself before you go out for the day, you know? So that's been really great. This was Rachel's idea actually. Should we put these little plastic, these like rubber things behind it so that it doesn't shake, so we don't have to worry about it breaking while we're moving? Because I know that's always a fear. So, but it like literally doesn't move from there. We got that at IKEA. So that's been fantastic. And I guess the last thing before we move to the back is we also put this little bookshelf up here so that we could store some of our books, and a little fake plant because we like to cross the border, so we don't have any real plants unfortunately, but this fake one makes us feel a little homey. So
Okay, so this is our bathroom. Our bathroom was something we definitely wanted to have in our van build for some privacy. We have a toilet in here, number ones only. We have a shower, the nice little movable shower head, which is helpful in this little tight space. We also have some shelves here that have our health and beauty products. We also keep our dirty laundry in here in our hamper. And we have these like clotheslines that you can hang up stuff when they're wet, which is very useful whenever we go to the beach. We can hang up our bathing suits.
So in the back half of our kitchen, we have, I'll start with our pantry. So I built out this pantry because, again, I wanted to have a lot of storage for food while we're on the road. In an ideal world, I want to be able to go off grid for a couple of weeks and not really have to worry about it. So in here, we have all of our spices. This has held up pretty well. Every once in a while, something falls. And then I got this rolling cart. I don't even know where I bought this from, maybe Amazon. And there's a shelf kind of for all of our things. So, and you can pull it out of there. We don't really pull it out very often, but you can pull it out. And all of our food and dry goods are stored there. And then there's a little tiny area where I built so we can usually put like a 12-pack of seltzer or some juice or something there. Yeah, so that's all of our dry food storage. And then we opted for a dorm fridge. You know, there's pros and cons. The price obviously is the biggest pro. I really love that it has this like separate freezer area so that we can again carry a lot of different food with us, and the refrigerator. But it does take a lot of power. We have to have our inverter on all the time. Right now we have it off because we're at my mom's house. And also have a separate like cooler 12-volt refrigerator. It's hit or miss. It was like a cheap one from Amazon. For the most part, it like keeps our drinks cold, but we don't trust it with anything other that's gonna like actually be perishable. So it's been all right though, but it is nice to have an extra thing to put our drinks in. Come over to this side of the kitchen, it's where all of our dishes and all of that things are stored. So we do have a sink, and it's a nice deep sink. So if there's a day where, you know, we don't want to do the dishes right away, they can kind of be hidden underneath this dish train board. We do have a magnetic knife rack, and we haven't had any issues with them falling really. We do have to sometimes make sure they're up all the way. I got this cool little toothpaste, toothbrush holder so that we can have that right there. Our water's empty right now, but we do have running water. We have, again, a propane hot water heater with a separate tank back there. We barely have to fill that. It doesn't use very much propane at all, and it comes out right here. And then, yeah, we have our regular sink. This pulls down, which is nice. We sometimes have to bathe our puppies in here. And then we have a water filtration system. I'm actually going to replace it out. It hasn't been working that great, so I'm doing some research on some new ones. If you have ideas on a good water filtration system for the van, drop it in the comments. It'd be really helpful. So up here is where all of our plates are. I did this kind of nod to Alice in Wonderland. Hopefully you kind of see the little nods here and there to Alice in Wonderland. But this has all of our cups over here. We just did these like replaceable shelves just because I wanted it to be as flexible as possible and be able to like arrange things in however I wanted them. So we have cups over here, we have plates. You have the salad spinner that I love. We do eat a lot of salads, but it also works as like a colander. I use that as my bowl when I need to mix things. It's just like very multi-purpose, so that's fantastic. These are great So I don't want to have to do dishes, and we just have, like having like a burger or something. You know, you just put this little wax paper. Fantastic. I have a lot of other stuff in the back. There's some cutting boards. Our front, we do have a Keurig. We barely use it. It actually doesn't work with our power when we're not plugged in. It's something with Keurig and Victron. So we might leave that home when we go back. So we mainly use this like Stanley French press. It's super, we had a glass one, and Rachel, thank you, bought this for Christmas. But it's great because you could just boil some water in if you just want water. And it's super heavy duty. And so this is what we make our coffee in pretty much every day. Rachel makes the coffee. And yeah, so that's all. We probably did a little more with the drinkware here because I like to have drinkware for every occasion, you know? We have coffee mugs, and then I have like, you know, these like wine chilled mugs, and then I have these for like fancy cocktails, and then like my favorite drinks are Moscow Mules. I have that Moscow Mule. So we probably went a little OD there, but they all fit. They all have a home. So that's what matters, right? Oh, and those are on, this is on a gas strut, so it stays open, which is really nice. And I don't actually have anything else holding it closed, but we haven't had any issues with it opening. So let's hope that continues. So down here I built out 4 drawers, which was probably one of the hardest projects, because if you know anything about carpentry, getting drawers perfectly straight is not easy. And so they're not exactly perfect, but the great thing is they're so tight that they don't open when we're on the road. So there's 4 drawers. This one we have all of our silverware, all of our cooking utensils, all of that. As you can see, it was really important to me that everything kind of has a home and is organized. Then in this drawer, we have some more cooking things, some little containers. We love our little frother for our coffee in the morning, and this little can opener. I love it. It's battery powered. I have some nicer stuff here than we actually had at home. It's quite lovely. You know, this little multi-purpose juicer. There's lots of stuff in here. We fit a lot in here for such a small kitchen. And then we have our junk drawer, which I also try to keep as organized as possible. So we have all of our medicines in here, some tools that we can grab quickly. I have more tools we'll show you later, but this is just stuff that we can grab really fast that we need more often. And then last, of course, our puppies had to have their own drawer. So in here, we have their puppy pads, some toys, and some other things for the dogs. So this is their drawer, and they also have some more storage underneath. That's the drawer that's a little tough to close sometimes, but it does, okay? And then under the sink here, we have our trash can. We didn't build a spot in for the trash can. I have this one that just hangs, but it's worked for us. We can move it if it gets in the way, and it kind of expands if we need it to. So that works. And then we usually do a trash can outside that we keep out during the day. I decided not to build a cabinet door here because I just thought it would be annoying in this small space. And so we just use a curtain here to close everything. But under here we have our air fryer. I have a tiny little crock pot. We have our blender. It's also kind of our liquor cabinet. Everything kind of stays safe there. And then like our Ziploc bags, some Lysol wipes, things like that. Extra towels for the kitchen. So all that's there. We also got a microwave in. I think we've used it one time as a microwave. We also store wine in here, so it keeps us safe. We do bagged, boxed wine because we don't have to worry about the bottles breaking. We just put the bag in there and it's a wine dispenser. But if we need to use it, I think we've used it a couple times. I think we'll keep it just because it does keep. We also can store our bread in there sometimes, and it matches and it's cute, so we'll probably keep it there. But that's kind of the kitchen. I think there's a lot here for such a small space, and it really gives us everything that we need for life on the road.
Okay, so we are in the back of the van, which is our bedroom slash dining room slash office slash entertainment room. We pretty much do it all back here. We have our television that's mounted and can pop out of the wall, which is convenient when we want to just like sit back, relax, and watch a movie. We have a Nintendo Switch that we like to play occasionally. We don't play as often as we used to, but we definitely wanted to have it here mounted on the wall.
Because Rachel doesn't like to lose. Whatever.
We also have some baskets that also house some more games that we like to play, such as Rainbow Pirates, Trails. Thank you, Rebecca and Jen, for hooking us up with some of these games that we play when we're on the road. So, and I have a lot of hobbies, Playing a ukulele is slowly becoming another one. I can only play like one song, but it was still important for me to bring along some of the hobbies. So shout out to Alicia for finding a place for a lot of the hobbies that I have.
Okay, so over here on this side, we have a lot of different things. So this is our Cuddy router, and this actually works. This took me a while to figure out on my own, so but it works with a SIM card from Visible. So we pay for a third line, and the SIM card goes in there, and then when we plug that in, it gives us Wi-Fi. So when Rachel and I leave with our phones, and we don't have the Starlink up, we can still see the dogs on the camera. We have a temperature monitor for them, all those things. So it basically gives us Wi-Fi when we're not in the van. Also, Rachel has a different carrier than me, and so if for whatever reason she's not getting service, she can get the service from Visible on here. So that's been really, really helpful. I opted for a bunch of these like plastic bins because they were just easier than trying to build something. And again, it's really important to me in the van that everything has a home, and so this has some of Rachel's self-care things. I installed these little hooks for her earrings, and then down here we have this little drawer that I bought off of Temu for our jewelry, so that we have storage for that. And then the remote for our Starlink. I also put some hooks here for our hats on either side. I'm a Libra, so I like balance. So you're gonna see a lot of like two things. And then this, and then we have these little reading lights. They even have little USB chargers so we can charge our phones at night. And they're just really nice because they're like low and they kind of go up and down. So at nighttime when we're kind of just like chilling, we don't want these big heavy lights on. They're nice to have for reading and such things. And then this part in terms of the build is probably one of the parts I'm most proud of actually. It's this like built-in that I did, and it has like this weird shape, so it was really hard to do. But it's really helpful because it has all of our stuff that we want to store at nighttime. So like our Kindles and our books are usually up here. I put these little hooks so I can put my sunglasses and my our Apple Watches, all of those good things. And then they're all kind of put away at nighttime, and we don't have to get up to put them places. So, I also put this hook for a fan. And we have these bunk windows. The bunk windows are really nice because they give you a nice little cross breeze. There's one on each side, and when we have our Max Air fan on, it pulls that air in, and even on a hot night, that breeze really helps to make it bearable in here to sleep. So speaking of air, we have two things in here. So we have the Max Air fan, which has been fantastic. We've had a couple issues with it, but the customer service is pretty good. But that really pulls in a nice breeze in here. And then we got this Fresh-Air unit. This is gonna be my only word of building wisdom for folks who are in the build process right now. Don't do a lot of research on what you order. I got this because there were some influencers who were like really talking it up. They don't talk about it anymore. And it's not that great. It is an evaporative cooler. It was kind of cheaply made when we were installing it. We cracked the plastic just by hand tightening it. If I would have done more research, I would have probably done something else. Maybe got an actual air conditioner and we can plug in. We ended up actually getting a portable AC for when it's really hot because this really just doesn't do it. It's super loud. We do use it in a crunch, and it's 12 volts, so it doesn't use a lot of power, so we can run it if it's really hot and we're not hooked up and we need just some extra air. So it's like we use it sometimes, but it's really not that great. It's one of my only regretted purchases in the van. So that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I have to say about that. So again, we really wanted to prioritize storage in this design, so there is a ton in this dinette. We did opt to go with a dinette rather than a fixed bed because we do work remotely and needed a place to work, especially on rainy days. So I'm going to show you what's underneath this seat. It's a lot. So they're pretty easy to open. I do like to move this. And I put this gas strut on here. And so we have bins. It looks kind of crazy, but it's mostly clothes. So we have like a lot of our like warmer clothes because right now we're in Florida, and then we can swap them out. Extra toiletries, and the dogs have their own extra bin. We also use some of those vacuum packs underneath, so we have some more things and clothes stored under there, and some more shoes. Back in the back, I have a couple of duffel bags. I have to travel for work. The propane tank is back there, and some other things, some holiday decor like we have been using today. So they're super easy, and then they close back down. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Under is actually our water tank. In here we have 33 gallons of fresh water. And then again, we have the propane water heater, and so it's just on demand for whenever we need it. And underneath the van we have a 7-gallon gray water tank and a 15-gallon gray water tank. We find that the 7 gallon's a little small, so when we're back home in Jersey, I'm going to try to figure out a way to connect those two so that we have a little bit more gray water underneath for the kitchen, which is what we use more often. On this side, I'm not going to open it up right now, but it is all of our electrical. Also, we have all of our tools, things we need in an emergency. So we have a backup like buddy heater, we have a jumper pack for our batteries, lots of things, emergency blankets. I always feel like I have to be prepared. I probably have too many things, but I guess you can never be too prepared for an emergency, right? So all of that's in here, anything I need to, if I would need to repair the van. And then kind of in the back half is all of our electrical components. I used all Victron components. So we have a 3,000 watt multi-plus inverter. I have my solar charge controller, the electrical panels back there, all of that good stuff. We have 400 amp hours of lithium batteries, and it does pretty good as long as we are driving enough and we have sunny days. Every once in a while we do have to plug in if it's like we're not driving a lot and it's really cloudy, but for the most part that is what we need. Up on the roof we have about 400 watts of solar, and then I also have an extra panel that I can connect that's 330 watts to the system if we're going to be out for a while and need some extra solar. So that's kind of our electrical system in a nutshell, and what keeps us powered as we travel down the road.
So we have some more storage for our clothes right underneath the refrigerator. We can pop these open, and as you can see I have a lot of clothes that are stuffed in here. I like to use the roll method to maximize all of my space. And then Alicia has a drawer right underneath mine. And we also have some more storage underneath the bed area. We just pull this out. As you can see, it's super long. And then we have some health and beauty, kitchen, just a lot of miscellaneous items. And this also doubles as a stair for our dogs so they can hop up and down.
Last but not least, we have our garage. So again, I opted for an elevated platform that I built out of 80/20 so that I kept it nice and light, but it gives us a lot of storage back here. Back here, we really have mostly all of our camping gear. I originally got this bug screen for the front, but then I ended up investing in the nicer bug wall, so I moved it back here so that we can open our doors and not worry about all those mosquitoes flying up. I'll open this up. And in here we have all of our camping things. So up here, this actually opens from the top as well. I originally thought we would put like our laundry there, but it doesn't quite work out that way because we always have our bedding. So we really just go from back here, but we can if we need to. And so it has all of our, our charcoal, lighter fluid, all of the stuff we use for camping, our lights. And then underneath we store our Starlink, our rugs, our chairs, we have a moonshade awning. I have some tread, like Go Tread pads in case we get stuck. All of that stuff is back here. So it really does give us quite a bit of storage and everything that we need at least. And then over here is our hot water heater that I talked about. And this is also where we fill our water. So back here, we have a gravity fill. And here I have a little window so that I can see the tank, because this little water thing doesn't seem to work for us. It tells us when it's empty, but then it really never goes past half full, so I don't trust it anymore. And I just look through this little hole that I made as a backup. So yeah, that is the back. And my favorite part is actually having these doors open, pulling up to a beach somewhere, and just enjoying the view. So yeah.
Okay, so that's it for our van tour. We hope you guys like the way that we customized the van to fit our needs and our aesthetic.
Yeah, thank you for taking a tour of Alice with us today. If you're in the middle of a van build or you're considering one, believe me, if I can do it, so can you. Just give yourself some grace, be patient, take your time, and you can hopefully have a little home on wheels like we do. Again, I know we say this every video, but we really, really, truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch us in our van. Thank you so much to all of you who have already subscribed. If you haven't yet, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button so you can follow along as we continue to figure out what it means to go slow down.